Yeah, that's a good question. And actually, no one's asked me that. Um, but I think the reason why that's a great question is because I think that is what kind of sets people apart.
Hmm.
One of my favorite books is this book called Atomic Habits. I believe it's by James Clear. I might be missing the messing up the author's name, but it's an incredible
Hmm.
book. And he said something so powerful. He said, "Winners and losers both have goals, but the
Mm.
system that they take to accomplish the goal is what makes them different." And so I say
Mm.
that because you asked me, like, what was the drive, right? I think the drive was the same as probably anybody. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to work in a certain industry. I wanted to work in an industry that it didn't feel like work, where I showed up
Mm.
every day and I was enjoying what I was doing, and right, that I would be passionate about it, right? So that's a goal that I'm sure a lot of people have. But I think where the drive comes into play is that I created a system to accomplish this, and
Mm.
it's been my goal, I guess you can say, since I was in middle school, right? I think it all started really with my mom kind of explaining her interest in what her dream job would have been. And originally, my mom wanted to be an attorney. But originally, when she shared that
Mm.
with me, she said she wanted to be a criminal lawyer. And even though I think what criminal lawyers do is amazing, I just knew that was not me, right? I was kind of a little frightened. I didn't want to kind of enter into that world. But I really loved hearing my mom's why and why she wanted to help people and give back. And I
Mm.
remember asking her, being a lawyer sounds very interesting. I don't think I want to do like the criminal aspect. Are there
Mm.
lawyers that work on TV? Like, again, I'm a kid, so I'm kind of thinking just optimistically, I don't know anything about this. And she opened the door, like, yeah, I'm sure there are lawyers that do television, film, music, right? Everything related to entertainment.
Mm.
That kind of led me to do some digging. So I think I did a little bit of research online. I said, like, who are the famous or the known entertainment lawyers? Like, I needed someone to look up to. I needed someone that did it,
Mm.
that I could even believe it was possible. At this time, I don't know any entertainment lawyers. My mom doesn't know any entertainment lawyers. And so I don't have a network to go to like have a coffee chat, right? So
Mm.
I do a little bit of research. I come across a television show, Entourage. It used to air on HBO. It's over. The show is ended now, but it's an incredible
Mhm.
show that highlights kind of the background of the entertainment business, right? It shows the life of an actor with their agents, with their managers, and the agent on the show was also a lawyer. And so I started watching this show.
Yeah.
I just like was like, okay, this is cool. It is a racy
Mhm.
show. It it's
Yes.
HBO, so it's
Yeah.
good content, I guess you could say. But
Mhm.
it was the agent lawyer slash lawyer. His name is Ari Gold, and it's actually based on the
Mhm.
real life Ari Emanuel, actually, who's a super agent.
Mhm.
But what I loved about his character was the drive, right? He wanted to solve problems for his clients. He wanted to get deals done. He was passionate. He worked so much, no one could pull him away from work because it wasn't that it was a job as much as it was what he loved to do, right? And not to mention the community, the culture around him, the where his work was, right? It was interacting with people that were helping to create the next top television show, movie, you name it. I thought all of that, it just looked very appealing to me. And the drive, more than anything, stood out to me because, again, my goal was to have a career that I loved, that it didn't feel like work, and that I would want to get up and do it every day. It was my passion. So, kind of from there, I just you know, set the goal in middle school and I tailored everything around it. So I kind of asked my teachers, I think back in middle school, what classes should I take to become a lawyer? They mentioned anything related to English, right, and writing would help develop those skills. So I did that. I took as many English classes as I could. When I got to high school, I took like honors English, AP Lang, AP English classes. And then when it came to going to college, right, I said, okay, well, which degree do I want to pick? I heard that you could do pre law to go to law school, but
Mhm.
I wanted to really focus on something kind of related to the business of entertainment because I knew I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer. And the beauty of being or going to law school, I guess, is it's one of the few professional degrees that you can get where your undergraduate degree doesn't, I don't want to say matter, but it doesn't have to be tied into your doctorate, right? So, to be a
Yeah.
doctor, you have to have a hard science background. I'm assuming to be an engineer, don't quote me, you need some level of a science background, right? Or math or science background. For
Yeah.
law, you could be a dance major, you could be an act and a thespian, right? You could
Mhm.
do anything. And so kind of I felt like the world was my oyster, but I thought this was the perfect time to hone in on the industry of law that I would want to work in, which was media and entertainment. So I decided to major in journalism with the emphasis in broadcast journalism. And I loved it. It was incredible.
Mm.
I have so much respect for journalists. I think their jobs are kind of people underestimate what it takes to really be a journalist, to report on issues and to highlight the truth. But the beauty of journalism was that it was also a writing based degree. So I had to take so many
Mhm.
writing classes. I had to learn to research in a timely manner, right? It had to be quick, and I had to be able to convey a message to an audience in a way that a layperson could understand, right? So, I mean, the topic could be about anything: a car crash, a political news story, sports, but I needed to convey it to the general public in a way that anybody can understand and that anybody might take interest in it to want to learn more, to want to go see the event, to want to research it on their own or protest or what have you. Um, and that ability taught me how to highlight the facts, right? Identify the facts of an issue, present that in a short, usually you have a short article, or if you're doing broadcast you have a script, and that needs to be straight to the point. And how to spread those messages. And I really believe that helped prepare me for law school, because as you know, Jordan, law school, it's all about when you're briefing a case, it's what were we
Iraq.
Iraq, yeah, Iraq, or what was the
Yeah.
other one, CRAC. And
C-Rat, yeah.
it's the issue, it's the rule, it's the facts, but not even just
Mhm.
all the facts in the story or in the case. What facts are important and why? What fact led to this holding? What fact led to the court deciding
Mhm.
in this manner? And so I believe journalism prepared me for that. So that's kind of the background on how I got to law school. And just throughout that process, I stayed focused. I didn't let anything stop me. I knew which majors to pick, which classes to take that I felt like would make me well rounded and ideally an appealing candidate for law schools. And that's what I did.